TVB and ATV have been penalized by the Communications Authority for the unequal sharing of transmission capacity. They were each fined $200,000. Ronnie Samtani has more details.
According to the Communications Authority, TVB and ATV were assigned a total of 3 digital multiplexes to provide digital terrestrial television services to the public. They each received a single frequency network multiplex for its own use and were required to equally share the transmission capacity in the multiple frequency network. But the Communications Authority found that TVB had been using more than half of the transmission capacity to broadcast its Jade and Pearl channels in high-definition format since the start of the year. ATV, meanwhile, continued to broadcast its Home and World channels in standard definition format. The Communications Authority said the arrangement was part of a commercial agreement between the 2 free-to-air stations without its prior consent. TVB and ATV were each fined $200,000 for the breach. There is no government policy on spectrum trading, but the Communications Authority said the 2 stations implemented the agreement without its authorization. TVB said in a statement the sole purpose of renting temporarily a portion of ATV's transmission spectrum was aimed at enhancing the image quality of Jade and Pearl channels. TVB pointed out that the improved service comes at no cost to the audience and that all related expenses were shouldered by the station. It also maintained that the arrangement with ATV was in line with its licensing conditions and did not violate any laws. ATV expressed regret about the Communications Authority's decision and said it will speed up the development of high-definition broadcasting. Ronnie Samtani, TVB News.
In his policy address today, Macau Chief Executive Fernando Choi offered the highest amount of cash handouts yet to his people. Permanent residents will be receiving 9,000 patakas each, while non-permanent residents will be getting 5,400 patakas each. It is the 7th straight year cash handouts will be handed out. With the gaming and tourism industries continuing to grow, the government has also promised to pump more money into social and welfare measures. Political unrest looms in Thailand, even though a controversial amnesty bill was defeated in the Senate. Critics say the government-backed bill was an attempt by Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra to whitewash crimes allegedly committed by her brother, Thaksin, and pave the way for his return from exile. Thaksin fled Thailand back in 2008 to escape a 24-month jail term on corruption charge, 2 years after being ousted as prime minister in a coup. The Thai Senate voted unanimously last night to reject the bill after the ruling party withdrew its support. Still, opposition forces have vowed to continue their protests against Yingluck. The Democrat Party has called for a civil disobedience and a 3-day nationwide strike beginning tomorrow in what's considered an attempt to bring down her government.
Iran has agreed to offer expanded access to UN nuclear inspectors. The agreement reached in Tehran on Monday comes after talks in Geneva between Iran and 6 world powers failed to come to any conclusion. Alan Buchnia has more.
The deal between the UN's nuclear watchdog and Iran is a so-called roadmap that will give UN inspectors broader access to a heavy water reactor that's under construction and a key uranium mine. But the plans do not mention some of the sites most sought after by UN teams to probe suspicions of nuclear-related work, notably the Parchin military facility outside Tehran.
This is the framework for cooperation, and it has 6 practical measures. This is the first step, and there will be subsequent steps.
Meanwhile, separate negotiations between Iran and 6 world powers are set to resume next week, aimed at Iran assuring it has no nuclear weapons programs in exchange for the easing of sanctions. Western leaders were keen to display a united front after suggestions that France had broken ranks and demanded more concessions from Iran.
All 6 E3+3 foreign ministers presented the same united position to Iran, which gives an extremely strong foundation for the next round of talks on the 20th of November.
Speaking during a stop in Abu Dhabi, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry said it was Iran that put the brakes on the first phase agreement, but expressed confidence that a deal will be reached. He also spoke to Israeli concerns about any agreement.
I believe the Prime Minister needs to recognize that no agreement has been reached about the end game here. That's the subject of the negotiation. The sanctions were put in place in order to bring about a negotiation.
Israeli President Shimon Peres said the reports of increasing tensions between Jerusalem and Washington about the handling of the Iranian issue were exaggerated. Alan Bookniat, TVB News.
Next, signs of stronger cooperation between the Chinese and American militaries. For the first time, the People's Liberation Army is taking part in joint drills on U.S. soil. 26 PLA soldiers arrived in Hawaii for Sino-U.S. humanitarian assistance and disaster relief drills. The three-day exercises begin today. They will be held in a field environment, simulating relief operations in a third country that's been hit by an earthquake. The drills involved a search for survivors, aerial rescues, and medical treatment. This follows a joint maritime search and rescue exercise by the two countries off Hawaii in September.
A dispute between members of an Iranian rock band in New York City has left 4 people dead and 1 injured. The murder-suicide happened Monday night at a Brooklyn apartment block. Police say Ali Akbar Muhammad Rafi was upset because he had been kicked out of the indie rock band Yellow Dogs. Police say the shooter fired an assault-style rifle through a window, then went inside the apartment and continued firing. 2 of the victims were brothers. The gunman was found on the roof with a self-inflicted shot to the head. The musicians were in their 20s and 30s. Police say it appears the dispute had started over money. Chris, what do you have for us in sports today?
Well, we got some tennis. That season's coming to an end. Novak Djokovic captured the season-ending World Tour Finals in London, beating rival Rafael Nadal in straight sets. Jameson Wong with the highlights.
They are by far the top 2 players in the world, and little separates them when they get together. However, Nadal has never solved the indoor game, while Djokovic has claimed the elite season-ending tournament twice before. And the Serb took the first set, 6-3. The Spaniard was game, but hit only 9 winners in the match. He was also broken 3 times. Match point, and Djokovic closed it out 6-4. The 2 men have split their 6 matches this season. However, Nadal will end the year at number 1 on the strength of his wins at the French Open and the U.S. Open.
6-3, 6-4.
It's fantastic. This is the strongest tournament after Grand Slams, you know, for sure. I mean, the competition is so high. The quality of tennis, every single match is the highest possible. You have top 8 players in the world. You know, to have won against all the 5 matches against top 10 in the world, amazing. And of course, today in the final against number 1 of the world, it's a great achievement.
I can say about one thing that makes the difference in today's match was the serve. That I didn't serve well. He served well. I didn't. So in this kind of course, his first shot is very important. And he did that first shot much better than me.
Djokovic won 22 straight matches to close out the season. He now has his sights on leading Serbia in Davis Cup play. Jameson Wong, TVB News.
Football now, in a bad break for Barcelona. The Catalans will be without their talisman Lionel Messi for up to 8 weeks because of a leg injury. The 4-time World Player of the Year hurt his left hamstring in Sunday's 4-1 victory at Real Betis. This is the latest in a string of injuries for the 26-year-old. Barcelona has struggled without him despite still leading La Liga. Messi has scored 14 goals in 16 games this season.
And finally, scientists in Australia are collaborating on a mission to save a rare species of orchid. It's believed that there are only 2 Caladinia spider orchids left in the world, and only 1 blossomed this year. The species is so vulnerable that the scientists won't reveal their exact location. They're trying to rehabilitate the plants in a controlled environment. Scientists are collecting the pollen from the flowered orchid in the hope that it can be used to fertilize the plant resulting in the production of seeds. And that's a wrap of our news. Thanks for watching.
Good night.
Good evening. It was cloudy with some rain today. At 5 p.m., rain was affecting western Guangdong and the vicinity of the Pearl River estuary. Today's temperatures ranged from 21.1 to 23.1 degrees, and the relative humidity was between 86 to 98%. The current temperature is now standing at 22 degrees Celsius, and the relative humidity is 97%. 27.9 millimeters of rain has been recorded since midnight, and the strong monsoon signal has been issued. So, Freddie, how's the weather tomorrow?
Oh.
Cloudy with a few rain patches again tomorrow. Temperatures will range from 19 to 22 degrees. Expect sunny periods in the following few days. Tomorrow's API is forecast at 20 to 75, and the air pollution level will range from low to high. The maximum UV index forecast for tomorrow will be about 2. And now to the latest global weather update. Cloudy in Shanghai, showers in Taipei and Xiamen. Cloudy in Guangzhou, showers in Macau and Chengdu. Cloudy in Beijing, sunny in Seoul, bright in Tokyo. Rain in Bangkok, Ho Chi Minh City and Manila. Thunderstorms in Kuala Lumpur and Singapore, rain in Jakarta. Sunny in New Delhi, Karachi and Mumbai. Sunny in Cairo, bright in Nairobi. Thunderstorms in Brisbane, sunny in Sydney and Auckland, rain in Melbourne. Cloudy in Toronto, snow in New York. Rain in Vancouver, bright in San Francisco and Los Angeles. And it's sunny in London, cloudy in Paris and Frankfurt, bright in Amsterdam, showers in Zurich. And that's the weather. Good night.